Prior to beginning any exercise program, including what is depicted in this video, individuals should seek medical evaluation and clearance to engage in physical activity. The exercise instruction, informational materials, and advice presented in this video are in no way intended as a substitute for medical consultation. Be aware, not all exercise programs are suitable for everyone, and some programs may in fact result in injury. All physical activity should be carried out at a comfortable pace for the participant, and participants should immediately discontinue participation in activities that cause pain or discomfort. By continuing to view this video, you assume full responsibility and you understand it is your choice to participate, and you assume all risks or results from this choice. As part of your participation in these activities, you hereby release and forever discharge Premise Health, its owners, employees, and agents from all claims, demands, actions,
All right, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for watching the disclaimer. Just so you know, the class will be recorded this evening. So just so you know that, if you have any questions or comments, you can always drop them in the chat below. And welcome, my name is Melissa, if we haven't met. And this evening, I'll be guiding you through all levels yoga for 45 minutes. So just remember to listen to your body and just have fun with the yoga practice. And as we start, you may want to have some props. You can have a blanket or a block close by. That can be a really nice support for your body. And as we begin, I just wanted to start with a little passage that I came across that I thought ties in really nicely to the yoga practice. A psychologist was teaching a stress management class, and they held up a glass of water. So all of the students thought that, the question would be, is the glass half full or half empty? But the teacher responded that it doesn't really matter, about that. They were curious, how much does the glass weigh? Does it weigh 2 ounces or 20 ounces? So everyone started yelling out all different responses. And she says, the amount that it weighs doesn't really matter. It depends how long you hold it. She said, if you hold it for a minute, nothing's going to happen. If you hold it for an hour, maybe you're going to get really fatigued and sore. And if you held it for a week, you could get paralyzed. And then she ties it into stress. And she says, stress and worry in life are like the glass of water. Think about them for a little while and nothing happens. Think about them a little bit longer and they begin to hurt. And if you think about them all day, every day, you'll feel paralyzed, incapable of doing anything. Remember to put the glass down. So that's always a really nice reminder in those moments of stress and, the busy mind, just to remember to come back to our breath and just try to release those stressors. So as we start tonight, let's take a seated position. And we're just going to allow for our eyes to close for a moment. So as we take the seated position, you can sit in any way that feels comfortable for your body. We want our body to be at ease. And then just observing your connection to the mat. And then feel yourself grounding through your sitting bones. Lengthen through your spine. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Reach and stretch through the crown of your head. And then take a moment to drop in and observe the rise and the fall of the breath. And then lengthening your breath as you inhale, lengthening the breath as you exhale. And then maybe encouraging your exhale to be a little bit longer than your inhale. And then as you breathe here, just remembering that each time that you breathe, you bring life, you bring oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. Let's take a moment to lower our right hand down to the yoga mat, right to the side of your body. Left hand begins to extend up and over. You're going to take a neck stretch here, lengthen and soften your left ear to your left shoulder. And then breathing here. Let's reset. Realign, left hand lowers and right hand lifts. Full breath in and soften. And then trying not to move with force here, just a very gentle suggestion of the ear to the shoulder. Let's come back to a neutral neck. We're going to lower that right hand down. Left hand reaches up and over. We'll take that nice full breath here. And then rolling your left shoulder back a little bit. Right shoulder is rolling under slightly. And feel that the heart is shining up to the sky. Coming back on through. Let's take neutral. Left hand lowers and right hand lifts. Try to feel grounded through that right sitting bone and then lengthen that side body, arm, and fingertip. We're going to come back on up to neutral. We'll realign here and making your way forward into table. So as you come into table, you may want to grab a blanket to pad your knees. So we'll take our knees, our hips in line. We'll take our wrists, our shoulders in line. And feeling the fingers stand wide, so pressing down through your index finger and down through your thumb. Let's begin to extend the right leg behind us. So to start, having your toes on the mat, toes are curled under, and then pressing out through your heel and the back of the knee. And then lifting your heel up. Let's take our heel in line with our hip, and then pointing out through your toes. We're just going to tap those toes down and then realign back on up. Let's lower and reset. Let's take this one 6 more times. So maybe this looks easy, but we're just going to try to move in a nice, slow, controlled way. Really try to activate all of the muscles in your body. And then coming back on up to neutral, let's take our right foot off to the right. So it's just going to come off your yoga mat, and then we're going to do a reset back to center. Float it off to the right, and then realign. And then taking this one at your own pace. And then reset back to center. And let's take that right foot to the left. So we're just going to do a little cross here. And then reset. And reset. Let's come into table. And then as you take table, let's circle out the hips a little bit here. So maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles. And then flow in the other direction. And then reset. Let's come back to neutral. Last leg's going to extend behind this time. Let's take that time to get that nice calf stretch and hamstring stretch. Lifting that leg up, pointing your toes. Let's do that lowering and then realign. Perfect. Now we're going to take our left foot off to the left, reset, and release. And reset. Let's take our left foot to the right. We're going to do that crossover. Realign to neutral. And let's reset. We're going to come back into table and then circling out the hips a bit here again. So large circles, maybe smaller circles. And then flow in the other direction. Let's come to a down dog when you're ready. Toes curl under, backs of legs lengthen, sitting bones to the sky. And then shake it out a little bit in your downward facing dog. It may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee. And then relax your head, yes and no. Coming into plank, let's take a high push-up pose. Knees can always lower if you need that modification. And we're going to come down for a Sphinx pose. So we're going to lower all the way down to the yoga mat. Let your hands side out in front of you, elbows in line with your shoulders. Maybe reach for opposite arms here, just to make sure the elbows aren't too far from one another. And breathe. So we're going to breathe into our low back bend. And if you would like to stay here, you can. If you want to lift up, you can as well. Hands press down, elbows lift up. Elbows wrap in towards one another. Arms will straighten. Coming into seal, reach and stretch out through the crown of the head. Let's come down to the yoga mat. Take a full breath here and make your way back to a downward facing dog. As you take down dog, float it into fold, and we're going to shake it out in our forward fold. So maybe bending the knees, maybe relaxing your head, yes and no. Let's take our hands to the right, landing in a side stretch. Feel grounded through both of your feet. Come back to center, take your hands to the other side. And then realign. Coming back to center, let's take a half lift here. We'll find a flat back, fold it forward, and then rising on up. Take a full breath in, and then drawing your hands at your heart. Breathe out. Let's take our hands right onto our hips. And right foot's going to take our float back, working with a variation of crescent. And option to stay right here. You may want to drop that knee down. You can always pad it with a blanket. And then we're going to come back on up. Right foot meets left foot, and chair pose this time. So sink your hips back and down. Left foot takes that float back. Do a little tap if you'd like. Float it forward. Hips will sink back and down. Right foot floats back. Right knee will lower. Come on back, chair. We're just going to go side to side here. Make sure that you're breathing. Really easy to hold your breath. Let's keep the breath flowing in and out through the nose. Lengthening your in-breath. Lengthening your out-breath. And then let's release that one. We're going to come back into our chair, and we're going to take it down to a fold. And we're going to take a half lift here. Find that flat back, fold it forward, come on up for mountain pose, and then draw your hands at your heart as you breathe out. Right foot's going to take a step up for crane. We're going to try a balance pose. So for crane, let's take our leg up to 90-degree angle. Arms will come out into T with soft wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Finding that one spot to focus on. From here, we're going to try a Shiva squat. So you can bring your hands onto your hips. Right foot's going to cross up to the left. So you can keep your legs straight. You can take a little bend, maybe a deeper bend. Maybe that knee is going to tap down, grounding into your left foot. Let's kick the right leg out this time. So we're just going to do a nice little gorilla kick off to the side, and then float yourself back into that Shiva squat. Rising on up, lowering down. And then releasing, let's come back to crane. And then from crane, we're gonna take it into warrior one. So for this one, right foot's gonna float back, right knee will lower down, or right foot floats back, right heel will lower down, and we're gonna take our hands to the sky as you breathe in. Try to feel your hips and shoulders score forward. We're gonna draw that right hip forward, right shoulder forward, left shoulder back, left hip comes back a little bit. Drawing your hands behind your body. Fingers interlock, palms touch. Let's take a full breath to lengthen and full down, breathe out. Try to relax the fronts of your shoulders and just noticing if that helps you move a little deeper into the stretch. Coming back on up. We're gonna reset back to warrior one. Hands lower down. Let's land in a runner's lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. So as you flow here, if you would like to make the stretch a little bit easier, maybe lower that right knee down into the ground for support. You can always bring your hands on blocks for support as well. Straighten your front leg. Let's come into a fold. We're going to allow for our spine to relax. Try to let go of tension through the back of your head and the back of your neck. Bending into your front knee, let's take that hand to the sky. So we're going to lift our left hand up when you're ready. We're finding our way into a runner's twist. And then with your in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. On your out-breath, allow for your twist to deepen. Let's lower the hand down. We're going to float ourselves back to plank, landing in that high push-up pose. And then working with boat pose, so lowering all the way down to the yoga mat. Let's take our hands behind our body. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch, lifting up when you're ready. So let's try to open the chest and the heart. Try to relax the fronts of your shoulders down. And then breathing here into your low back, mid back, and upper back bend. Let's begin to lower down. Full breath here. Down dog, breathe out. Coming on forward, let's land back into our forward fold. Half lift here. Fold it down. Let's come on up, rising for mountain. Hands at your heart, breathe out. Let's try crane on the other side. So we're going to lift that left leg up this time. So left leg floats up to a 90-degree angle, arms out into T, soft wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Finding your drishti. Let's find that one spot to focus our concentration and to focus our awareness. From here, we're going to float ourselves to the Shiva squat. So maybe bring your hands onto your hips and decide how deep you want to take the stretch. As you come on up, let's give that leg a kick out to the side of the room. And realign. And then we're going to find our way back to that Shiva squat. Come on up back into crane. And then from crane, step it back to warrior one. So we're going to take that left foot back this time. Left heel will lower. And then hands are going to reach and stretch up as you breathe in. Feel the arms really active. We want to feel our arms frame our ears. Fingers are active. Reach and stretch through your fingertips. Bring your hands behind your body. Yoga Mudra. Let's release into that fold. Take that nice shoulder opening. Come on up. Reset it. Let's put ourselves back to warrior one pose. Hands lower down. Land in your lunge. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And then as you take the stretch, just noticing if the stretch feels very similar on this side of your body to the first side that you worked on. The stretch may feel very similar, may feel very different one side to the next side. Straighten your front leg. Let's fold forward. And then bending into your front knee. Let's take that right hand up. We'll take our twist. And reset. Let's put ourselves back into our runner's lunge. This time, land the plank. Take a high push-up pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Let's take an up dog here. So we're going to use our breath. We're going to breathe into our back bend. Press back to down dog, breathe out. Knees will begin to lower. And working a little bit with side plank on the forearm. So we're going to work with a dolphin side plank. So for this one, let's take our right arm in to start. We're going to have our arm so that it frames the top of our yoga mat. Come onto the outer edge of your right foot. You're going to straighten that leg out. And then try to stack the insides of your feet together. Left hand's going to reach and stretch to the sky. You can always lower your bottom leg down to the ground if you need to. Try to feel your top hip lifting up to the sky. So energetically sending your hip up. And then we're going to thread that arm under. We'll try our side plank on the other side. And we're going to release that one. And let's come into a child's pose for a moment. Knees are going to be on the ground. Either your knees can be together. You can also take your big toes to touch. Maybe knees apart. And then just let yourself sink down for a moment. Let's press fast. We're going to come to down dog when you're ready and walk your toes to the hands. Let's land in a fold. Take that half lift, fold it forward, and then let's come it up to rise for mountain as you inhale. Hands reach and stretch up. Hands at your heart. Let's breathe out. Right leg is going to come up and over. Right arm wraps under and coming into eagle. Let's come into Garudasana. So for this one, you can have your toes on the ground. Maybe your leg is lifted for a half wrap. And you can also try for the full wrap if you'd like. And then right arm under. Maybe reach for opposite shoulders. Press the backs of your hands together. Maybe arms will wrap and hands will wrap. Let's feel really grounded in that left foot. So we're going to press firmly through the inside, through the outside. And then notice your body's natural tendency. If you tend to roll in, maybe you tend to roll to the outside of the foot. Option to take your elbows down to the knees if you'd like. That's bringing the eagle into the neck. And breathing here. Really feel that nice, strong connection to your core. Come on through. Keep your arms wrapped up. And we're going to send our leg back into warrior 3. So try a balanced warrior. In warrior 3, imagine that you could create a capital T shape with your body. You want to create a long line from our left heel to left hip, and then long line from your right heel to crown of the head. Come back. Let's land in crescent. We're going to keep those arms wrapped up for crescent and trying to square your hips and your shoulders forward. Unwrap your arms, sweep your hands to the sky. As you breathe out, let's straighten our front leg. Take your arms alongside your body, palms face forward, breathing in and out. Let's come back into crescent. We're going to take a full breath here and then open into warrior two pose. As you come into warrior two, feel your feet firmly grounded and planted. Your feet in towards one another. We're going to straighten out that front leg. Hands reach and stretch up. Release. And rise. Reset. Let's come back into warrior two. Reverse warrior. Float the front hand up and back. Backhand glides down your back leg. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back. Reach for the other hip crease and take a half bind. Come on through. Back to warrior two. Release into a lateral angle. And then coming into extended lateral angle if you'd like to go there. Trying not to collapse into the bottom shoulder. Try to create a little lifting here, a little bit of lengthening here. Core engages. Let's come back on through for warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Take your front hand up and back for reverse triangle. And then coming on through, let's work a little bit with pyramid. So for pyramid, there'll be some distance between your feet, but you do want to hop your back foot forward a little bit. And I really like having a block close by, so you may want to have that near you. Let's take a moment here to try to square your hips and your shoulders forward. So we're just going to encourage that right hip forward, that right shoulder forward, left hip back, and then left hip comes back a bit. Lengthen your spine. Let's hinge at our hips, and we're going to fold down to the yoga mat. And if you would like to deepen your stretch, you can play with the weight in the feet. Maybe draw more weight into your front foot, lifting that front hip up a little bit. You could also draw your right hip forward slightly and then pull your left hip back a tiny bit, just to give yourself a little bit of a different stretch. Holding onto pyramid, let's work with pyramid twist. So for pyramid twist, the right hand will plant and the left hand's going to lift to the sky. Let's breathe here. For your in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. Out-breath, let your twist deepen. Lifting that right leg up, let's come into a revolved balancing half moon pose. So you can try to lift that leg a little bit higher up if you'd like. Staying here, if you'd like to invite more challenge, maybe bring your hand for your foot and try a bind. This one is a twisted sugar cane. And to gently release this pose, right foot's going to float to the back of your yoga mat. And we're going to rise on it for a revolved crescent warrior. So hold onto the twist for your torso. Feel that your shoulders are over your hips. You just don't want to be leaning forward or back too much. And then staying here, if you would like a little bit more challenge, pick your front hand up and back. And to release, we're just going to come on out of this one super slow. So we're going to come up for a revolved crescent, release into crescent, release into warrior two. And then from warrior two, we're going to take it down, landing in a runner's lunge, float yourself back into plank, lower down, chaturanga. We'll take an up dog here, use your breath. Breathe into your back bend. Press back to down dog, breathe out. Come on forward, let's land back in our forward fold. Halfway lift and release. Let's come on up, rising. Hands at your heart as you breathe out. Let's try eagle on the other side. So we're gonna take our left leg up and over, left arm wraps under. And imagining if you could see yourself trying to create a line that flows from your toes to your knees, to your elbows, and to your fingertips. Letting the elbows float to the knees if you'd like. You can take eagle into the nest. Coming on up, keep your arms wrapped up, release your leg back, and let's try warrior 3. Maybe roll that left hip down a little bit. Imagine that you could balance the block on your low back. Come into crescent, but keep those arms wrapped up, eagle arms. Last leg is super active. Press firmly through your heel and the back of your knee. We're gonna unwrap the arms, landing in that crescent warrior. Creating some movement here. Let's straighten out that front leg. We'll take our arms alongside the body, palms face forward. Full breath in and release. Let's take that one at your own pace. Flowing to the rise, flowing to the fall of the breath. Landing back to crescent. Let's open to warrior 2. And feel your hands reach and stretch in the opposite direction. Let's create some movement here in warrior 2. So I'm just going to straighten that front leg, reach and stretch up, releasing, rise. And reset. Let's come back. Landing in our warrior 2. Let's come into reverse warrior. Float the front hand up and back. And then come on through, landing in that lateral angle. Maybe trying extended lateral angle if you'd like to deepen that stretch. And core engages. Come back on up. Reset to warrior 2. Let's straighten our front leg. Front hand sweeps up and back. Reverse triangle. And then back to neutral. We're going to hop our left foot forward and we're going to work with that pyramid stretch. So grab your block if you need that. Left foot's going to hop forward. Left toes are going to be turned up the yoga mat. Hips and shoulders square forward. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Fold yourself forward as you exhale. And then just letting your spine relax here. Try to let go of any tension through the back of your head and through the back of your neck. Planting your left hand. Let's take that right hand to the sky. We'll come into a twist. And then maybe looking up to the sky. Sometimes that gives you a little bit more neck stretch. Staying here, if you would like to invite some challenge, lift that left leg up and then hold onto your twist. Maybe bind here, maybe take your hand for your foot. Coming into twisted sugar cane. Holding onto your twist. Let's take our left foot to the back of the mat. Core engages to come on up, shoulders over your hips. Stay here. Reverse variation. Back hand glides down your back leg. Front hand reaches up and reaches back. And then release. Let's come back to a neutral spine. Realign here. We're going to slowly unwrap our pose one by one, just flowing right out of this one. Laying back in warrior 2. Let's take those hands down. Reset to our lunge. Float yourself into plank. As you find plank, lower down chaturanga, up dog here, down dog, breathe out. Right leg to the sky, bend, stack, and open, and float that knee through. We're going to take pigeon from here. We'll come into a really nice hip opener. So for pigeon, you want to have your right knee in line with your right hip, or you can send the knee off to the side of the mat a little bit. And then we want to feel balance here in the hips and the low back. Option 2, stay up, or you can fold yourself down if you would like. Allow for your eyes to close. Try to relax the eyebrows, relax your jaw. Try to let go of any tension that you might be holding on to. And try to relax the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Relax the upper, mid, and low back. Let's release that one. We're going to press ourselves back to down dog when you're ready. And then trying it out on the other side. So left leg's going to extend up. We're going to bend, stack, and open. And then take that knee through. Let's take pigeon on the other side. Lengthen here. Fold yourself down. And then letting the eyes close. Try to clear your mind of thoughts. So we always have thoughts moving through the mind, maybe thoughts for the past, thoughts for the future. Try to release the thoughts, bring the awareness to the breath, bring the awareness to the present moment. And then just noticing if the present moment, the only moment that truly exists. You may also notice the stretch that you feel. The stretch may feel very similar on this side of your body to the first side of the body that we worked on. It may feel very similar, may feel very different one side to the next. And then to release, so we're going to rise up this time. Roll into your left hip, sweep your right foot to the top of your mat. And then from here, let's make our way down onto our back. And then as you come down onto your back, hug your knees up and into the chest and into the stomach. And do a little rock to the right and a little rock to the left. And then taking that rocking into circles. maybe large, maybe small circles here, whatever feels best for your low back. And then begin to circle in the other direction. So just reverse that movement. And then from here, letting that go, we'll come into relaxation time. We'll come into Shavasana. So if you need to pick any final stretch or pose coming into that, and if you'd like to grab any props, you can always bring a blanket, roll that up underneath your knees. Sometimes the body temperature drops a bit as we relax. You could also draw a blanket over your body. Now we're just going to feel the eyes closing. Relax the eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Relax the back of your head, back of your neck. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. Relaxing the upper, mid, and low back. Relaxing your legs. Relaxing your feet of any tension. Allow for your breath to deepen. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. Coming onto your side, you can come into fetal pose, so creating a pillow with your lower arms, gently supporting your head and feeling your body take the shape of the posture. And from here, we're going to come on up. We're going to make our way into seated. And as you come into seated, maybe drawing your hands into prayer at the heart space, into Anjali Mudra, into prayer position. And thanking yourself for practicing yoga this evening, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful night and look forward to seeing you next class. Take care.
Okay, thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.